Alright guys, so today I'm going to be showing you how to install an oil catch can. Now this is just a simple oil catch can I picked up off of eBay. I think I spent about $20 on it. I think they've gone up now. I looked at them a while back, they were about 30 bucks. Comes with a little filter, goes on top. I had to get new fittings to put on here because the hoses that I need to connect to them were smaller than what came with it. So these are a little bit longer than they need to be, but it'll be fine. What's really nice about this one is instead of having to twist the bottom off to look and see how much oil is in there, got a little oil dipstick, so you know how much oil, and whenever you need to take off the bottom, you just twist this off right here. And you can see the insides. So this is where your oil gets trapped at, comes through here, gets stuck down in there, and it can't get back out. Now what I do recommend is getting some steel wool and stick down in the bottom of there, and that helps the air suction from not bringing the oil back up, but the can itself does a pretty good job all on its own. So now we're going to install it. Now, first thing you're going to want to do is find the location on which you're going to put the oil catch can. I know some people that take them all the way over to that side, but quite honestly, I find it easier to just put it right over here. In some cases, people like to drill holes, and you can disconnect this bracket right here, and you can put screws in there and put it on your firewall or wherever. I'm not doing that today. I'm just going to use a couple zip ties. Two reasons. A, I'm going to be repainting this car, so whenever I go back and do it again the second time and put everything back, I'll put this in properly. But for right now, we're just going to put it in with some zip ties. So start with some zip ties here. There's a little bracket here on the side right here that I'm going to zip tie this to, and it'll rest in here just fine. Okay, so I went ahead and got this put in right here. So just to kind of give you an idea, these are the little hose clamps they sent, okay, for these big guys, okay? They barely even fit on there. By the time you put a hose on there, there's no way they're going to fit. So I had to get some new hose clamps as well. So next thing we're going to want to do, is make sure you have the right size hose to go from your PCV valve to your oil catch can back into your intake manifold. So make sure that all that is the right size and that you have enough of it. So we'll start by pulling the PCV valve hose off here. You're going to probably need a pair of pliers because there's clamps on them. Now if you do damage your PCV valve, not a big deal really. They're pretty cheap. You can go pick them up for like $4 or $5. And you can obviously see the little bit of oil that is on there, and that's the problem, is the oil will get sucked up in there, goes into your intake manifold, back into your engine, and it gunks up everything. Now we'll finish pulling the hose off right here, going into your intake. And as you can see here, that's an old rubber hose and it just broke off. So we've got to coach the rest of it off here. Ooh, that thing is dirty. That thing is gunked up on the inside. Let me see if I can show you guys here what it looks like. Alright, that's what the inside of that looks like right now. As you can see, that is pretty dirty and gunked up, and that is the reason why we're putting on an oil catch can. Now I recommend putting these on all vehicles, even if they're not recommended, especially diesel trucks. They work very well. They work good on all gas engines as well. There's a reason why they make them, and the reason why you should use them. Now in other videos I will explain later what the oil catch can does a little bit better, but for now I'm just doing the install. So for right now I'm going to go ahead and try to clean this up and the throttle body, and then we'll finish installing the oil catch can. Now when you're in the process of doing this, take your PCV valve, kind of shake it back and forth. I can hear that mine is stuck, which means it's clogged. So therefore what we're going to have to do is either replace it, or one little simple trick, run some brake cleaner through it, or carb cleaner. It doesn't really matter. So I'm going to do that real quick, run it through there, and it'll free up the little plunger that's on the inside, because it's stuck from all the gunk that's been sucked up into it. Alright, so I got the PCV valve cleaned here. As you can see, went ahead and got that cleaned up. So now I'm going to go ahead and put this back in, hook the hose to it. We're going to run it over to the oil catch can, and the hose will then run back over to our intake. Let's get started. Now another tool you're going to need, probably going to need a box blade. So once you figure out what size you need it to be, go ahead and leave just a little bit of extra slack in there. But probably what'll be better is I'll probably just run this hose right underneath here, kind of keep it out of the way. Right. In. Alright, now we've got our hose cut to size. Now I'm going to grab one of these hose clamps here. I went down to Harbor Freight, picked these up. These had little twist knobs on the top, so a little bit easier. You don't need a tool to take them on and off, so that's what we're going to start with. Alright, so I went ahead and got one hose clamp on over here, so we'll go ahead and run this hose over to here. We'll cut it to size, and we'll finish installing it. It's a nice good fit, so I shouldn't have to put a clamp on that. I might go ahead and do that, but for now I think it'll be just fine. So we'll run this on over. Go ahead and cut this to size. Get ourselves another clamp here. Put it on. Alright, now all we got to do is connect the hoses on over here and then put the vent on. So this little guy on. Make sure it's good and snug on there. Yeah, just like that. Now we'll put the next hose on. Alright, now we're ready. Take our air filter, stick right on top. Make sure everything's good and secure. Make sure everything's good and secure over here and here. And now we've successfully installed an oil catch can. So what this will do is air pumps from here over to the intake manifold. So what we're going to do is this hose here will will suck in any oil, trap it inside of here, and return clean air back into here, helping you keep the power in your car. You won't have to clean your throttle body and other things as often, and you will have a longer engine life because of it. But again, I'll explain more about the oil catch cans later on. For now, we're just doing an install. Danger, Will Robinson, we have an issue. And I already figured out what it is. I need to take off that air filter and put the little cap back on because it's sucking in too much air. As you can see here, if I plug off the hole, now it's idling fine, just the way it should be. All the air is running through here the way it should be. These are for more performance vehicles, and I had a feeling this was going to happen. So I'm going to put the little cap that goes back on the top, which will keep it a completely sealed unit, so we don't have this problem here. Alright, so I went ahead and put the little silver cap back on. You can see it right here. That just blocks it off. So we'll start the car back up and you'll see that it's running better. Alright guys, so that's how you install an oil catch can on your vehicle. It's a very simple and easy process. You don't need very many tools. You just have to make sure that you have the right parts and hoses that you're going to need to put it together. When you buy something on eBay, or really any type of oil catch can, a lot of times they're not vehicle specific. So they just send you a bunch of random parts, and 9 times out of 10, none of those parts are going to work for the application you're going to need it for. So keep that in mind. You can run down to Lowe's, Home Depot, Menards, Farm and Fleet, or probably even at Ace Hardware. You can get the fittings that you need to put into your oil catch can. Therefore, you can adapt the right size hoses that you're going to need for the process. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please hit the subscribe button and the like button so you can stay up to date with all my new videos coming out. See you guys next time. Alright guys, I'm going to tell you the importance of why you don't buy cheap air filters. So now I just put the oil catch can on this car. Alright, now you guys just watch that happen. So I decided I was going to go ahead and change out the air filter while I was in the process of this, right? So I take it out, and what do I find? This is what I find. Okay, now the only reason why I had a cheap air filter in here is the last time that I went to go get an air filter, they were out of the better ones that I usually buy, and all they had was these cheap ones for my vehicle. So I said, well, screw it, I'll go ahead and get it. That's why you don't buy these, okay? They're absolutely junk. It's disintegrating. Like, it's absolutely pathetic. Okay? Stick to good air filters, okay? They're worth the money, they're better for your car, and yeah, don't let that happen to you. Yeah, that's much better. I can already hear a difference. But that air filter is doing a much better job than that piece of shit. Yeah, sorry for the cussing guys, but that's just uncalled for.